Hello students, in this video I will go through concepts related to complementary, supplementary, explementary, or vertical angles through an algebraic approach. Let's take a look. So in this lesson we're going to build our toolbox of readily available tools so that we can use them to solve different geometry problems. The very first concept in this lesson is this idea of vertical angles. So when you have two lines coming together where they intersect at a common point, what will end up happening is there are going to be four angles that are formed. There are going to be two pairs of angles that are going to be congruent. Again, congruent means that they are going to be the same in every which way. The word congruent is very much like a synonym for equality. We are going to be using this interchangeably. So the angle A and angle B are going to be congruent, and angle C and angle D are also going to be congruent. It is important to note that these angles are opposite of one another, right? So angle A and angle B, right, they're facing one another. They are opposite of one another. Angle A and angle C, on the other hand, they are adjacent to. So angles that are next to one another, we cannot declare that they are the same. So we cannot say angle A and D are the same. We cannot say angle B and D are the same because they are next to one another. However, what we can say is angle A and B are the same and angle C and D are the same. So those are vertical angles. Moving on here, we have this idea of an explementary angle. So when angles come together where they are joined by a common vertex, so in this case I actually have two different angles. I have an angle on the inside and I have an angle on the outside. If you have multiple angles coming together form from a common vertex, what will happen is all those angles, when combined together, will form 360. What this is really saying is that all the angles form one rotation going around that point. That's all that is. So angle A and angle B will add up to 360 degrees, and we describe this as being an explementary angle. Moving on in our concepts here, when two angles that are adjacent to one another, so x and y, just like over here where A and C are adjacent to one another, where they are angles that are a part of a straight line, just like here, x and y, those are angles that are a part of a straight line. These two angles are referred to as linear pairs. So two angles that form a line, hence the word linear, right? Two angles that form a straight line are said to be supplementary. So there's actually two vocabulary words or two vocabulary terms here. Linear pair just means a pair of angles that form a straight line. Supplementary implies that the angles add up to 180. So anytime when you have two angles that form a straight line, they are going to be supplementary. They are going to add up to 180 degrees. And finally, the last concept is this idea of complementary angles. When two angles add together, form 90 degrees, then it is said that the two angles are going to be complementary. Okay, so in this case here, I can see that this angle over here is 90, and then I have these two pairs of angles, right, along with the 90, they form a linear trio, if you will, right? So because they form a linear trio, A and B therefore must add up to 90 degrees. And if A and B are add up to 90 degrees, then it is said that A and B are complementary. Okay. So it is important for you to be able to recognize different angles when presented to you so that you know how to apply these four concepts. So moving from left to right, let's try to identify or name what kind of angle relationships these are between A and B. Pause the video here, see if you can answer this. So hopefully you guys had some time to think about this. So moving from left to right, the first diagram here, we have a pair of complementary angles. Here we have a pair of supplementary angles, or they are linear pairs. Linear pairs are supplementary. And the last one here is we have a pair of vertical angles. It is also important that you be able to apply those concepts in a problem where you're asked to solve for certain things. So in this case here, you're given that angle ABC and angle CBD are complementary, and you're asked to find out what the two angles are. So you're given some information about the two angles, and then based on the information about those two angles and knowing that the two angles are complementary, we can form the following relationship. We can say, based on the angle addition postulate, that angle ABC plus angle CBD should equal to angle ABD, because ABD has to be 90 here in this case, because it says that the two angles are complementary. And then at this point, all I have to do is just replace what angle ABC and CBD is to solve for the unknown. Combine like terms, divide by 5. X will end up equaling to 18. I have not finished the problem yet because I'm asked to find out what angle ABC and CBD is. Excuse me. So angle ABC will equal to 36, and CBD will equal to 54. And just as a quick check here, right, 36 and 54 does indeed add up to 90. Moving on, we're asked to solve for x. In this case here, I immediately see that we have two lines intersecting at a common point, and I'm told what those angles are opposite of one another. I'm told one of the angles, and I'm given a description of the other, and I'm asked to solve for x. Well, recognizing that these are vertical angles, I can therefore say that these two angles are going to be equal to one another. So I can then subtract 1, divide by 5, x will equal to 17. Recognizing this situation here, that these are, that the angles all meet up at a common vertex, so therefore I've gone around that point one full revolution. Recognizing this, that these are explementary angles, I can therefore say that these three angles should add up to 360. Combine like terms, and further combine like terms, and then subtract both sides by 302. I end up with x is equal to 58. Here in this case, I have a pair of angles that form a straight line, so therefore these are linear pairs, and linear pairs are supplementary. So therefore I can say that x plus 6 and 5x should add up to 180. Combine like terms, subtract 6, divide by 6, x will equal to 29. And that's it.